Hey everyone, in today's video, I wanted to show you my favorite macro lens that I've been using for a few years now. I actually had this one. It's also the same lens and I'll show you the difference. I kind of wanted to compare and contrast the two different lenses. The cool thing about this macro lens is it has image stabilizer built in. So a lot of times when I shoot handheld, that really comes in handy, especially for video. In this video, I'm gonna focus more on using these for video rather than photo, but some of the fundamentals are basically the same. So I have a link in the description to this lens, but the L series lens, they have the red ring here. So the previous one that doesn't have the image stabilizer doesn't. And it's a f2.8 100mm macro lens. Same exact thing on this lens, again, made by Canon, but this one is not the L lens. It doesn't have the red ring and it doesn't have image stabilization. So this is about twice the price of this one, but it was definitely worth the upgrade. I used this for a few years and then I upgraded to this and it's become my favorite macro lens. And the reason why I like this more than a 50mm macro, for example, is it just gets you right where you need to be for a macro shot. With the 50, you really have to move in there next to the subject. I shoot a lot of food with it. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and put a drone here and then I'll throw this on the 5D that I have. I just have an old 5D Mark II here. I wanna show you on a full frame what it looks like. I'm using the C300s, the Super 35 to shoot these setups right here. So I'm gonna have to show you on the 5D, but it's full frame. These are full frame. They're gonna cover the sensor. They also work very well on Super 35. They're all EF mounts. I have also used this on Sony with an adapter. They work very well there too. Okay, so let's throw this lens right here on the 5D and I'll do some test footage, just getting some macro shots of this drone that I have sitting here, and then we'll throw the other one. I just want to show you the big difference image stabilization makes, and then you could compare side by side the image quality as well. So here I'm going to make sure I'm on manual focus. I'm going to use the manual focus setting here for video. I want to make sure image stabilization is on since I'm handheld here, but if you're on a tripod, go ahead and turn that off. And here you could, based on your distance, set this. So I'm going to be really close here to my subject, so 0.5 meter or 0.3 meter. Those are the two different settings here. I'm going to go ahead and put it on that. So 0.3 meter is going to be the closest to your subject, so that's where I want to put it. So let's go ahead and frame up here. I'm actually going to roll on this test footage so you get an idea. So between the distance I have here and to the blade of the Mavic here, let me go ahead and rack focus. And you can see how tight and how shallow it gets at 2.8. Let me go to the blade right here. And again, right here, super shallow. Let's see how close I could get. I'll come all the way over here, right on the edge of the blade. And as you could see, I could get super close with the focus here. And basically even rack focus right there. It's a big rack even though I'm so close to the blade here. So you get the idea of how close you could be to your subject. Very useful for a macro lens. So let me now hold it as stationary as I can. I'll just shoot the top of this battery. I'll just hold it as stationary as I can. Okay, let me cut here. I'm gonna switch to the other macro 2.8 lens. Again, if you wanted to save money, this is a great starter lens. And it's, again, 0.3 is your close focus, manual focus, but it doesn't have image stabilization. But I'm gonna throw this on just to compare the two side by side, getting the exact same shots on this drone here. So let me go ahead and just start rolling and I'll just frame up on the top of this battery one more time. And I'm gonna hold it as stationary as I can again. And as you could see, this is way more shaky than the shot I got with the image stabilization on the other one. That's why I think that is well worth it. I mean, a lot of times with a 100mm macro, you're not gonna be handheld. And the idea that you can get handheld shots and still have them be usable, basically with this, it's pretty much not usable and I have to be on a tripod. And I was always on a tripod when I used this. But when I got this one, I ended up using a lot of handheld shots just on the go quickly, of really macro detailed shots. So that's why I recommend this over this one. And I definitely recommend this over any other macro lens I've ever used. Let me go outside. I'll just shoot some B-roll to music here and just show you some of the shots that this could get right outside. Well, and one last thing I wanted to show you, if you actually open the back cap right here and kind of shake this around, the element does move around. That's the image stabilization. So don't worry, the lens is not broken. That's just what it sounds like and what it feels like when you get this lens with image stabilization, just because it's a 100mm macro with image stabilization. But I hope you found this video useful. Again, you could always rent this lens from your local rental shop if you want to test it out, but in my opinion, it's the best macro lens, especially for Canon cameras. Well, I hope you found this video useful. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I try to create these filmmaking tutorials multiple times a week to help you with gear and how to make money as a filmmaker, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.